Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video on your daily updates on Bitcoin. We're going to do a full update here. We'll talk a little bit about the fundamentals because we need to. I think the fundamentals have a pretty major impact on the price of Bitcoin right now. But in general, we'll talk about everything you need to know, right? So overnight, we actually had some pretty interesting price action that I wanted to discuss. Hopefully, you did not hear that sound because that sound was extremely loud. An alert went off, but hopefully it doesn't matter. But no, there's a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. Of course, tomorrow we have the Federal Reserve interest rate decision. I'll zoom in a little bit here, so that will matter a lot. I'll try to be live streaming tomorrow. It's a bit of a pretty filled up day for me, but I think I can make it work. So keep an eye out on the channel for that. And then today we have the balance of trade for the US. We had the balance of trade for goods last week. This can matter in this context with all the import tariffs and all the potential trade deals. It could matter, but for now, I don't think it will, right? It will only matter if the result is much different from expected, which if that happens, I'll tell you, but that's not the expectation right now. However, the main fundamentals that we need to talk about right now are not necessarily economic news events. No, it's more generally the financial markets right now, all right? And what you can see from the financial markets is that they're pulling back slightly. The pre-market, as you can see for the S&P 500, is trading lower, and at the same point of time, the volatility index and gold are trading higher, all right? So what that usually means is that instability is increasing. You can also see that gold has broken out right here. I think it's a bit too early to say that we're rallying. I think we need a little bit more momentum. But ultimately, this is looking much more bullish than bearish, right? So that in combination with the volatility index and the S&P 500 makes me fundamentally slightly bearish on the financial markets. And then what we have also seen is that we have lost the Coinbase Bitcoin premium that we had for the last 2 weeks. Now, this could still turn around, right? And that's also a bit of the difficulty right now. This could easily turn around, but at this point of time, this is the data that we have. And the data that we have at this point of time is not bullish, right? And then if you combine that with what we see from Bitcoin technically, look, if I take a look at the opening here, the TPO, you can see that we're within the value area of yesterday. The open was also within value, and we're forming some nice balance here in the area where we previously also found balance, right here between 95,400 and 93,600, right, with the possibility of dropping down into 93,200. So that's pretty decent. But then we had a massive imbalance here to the upside that we created overnight. From Sunday to Monday between 95,500 and 95,250. And we reached that overnight at the end of after the US session in post-market. But then you can see we instantly rejected, right? The first part of the fair value gap was already the main resistance that held. And then you can even see here on the 1 hour time frame that the high right here was tested. And the seller's conviction was tested. That's essentially what it is, and it held as well, right? So then you can see Bitcoin falling down into 93,600, a level that has held us numerous times. But at this point of time, I don't think, and that mainly has to do with the fundamentals, I don't think we can hold that. I think it's more likely that we'll drop down into 93,200, and then from there we have a chance to gain some stronger support and potentially reclaim. But I think you should also keep in mind, like, I think it's a bit of a risk for me to say that, but I think it's quite likely that we're not going to be able to hold 93,700 here eventually. So then the main question is, I think that's pretty certain. So then the main question is, what type of reaction will we get at 93,200? And from there, it really matters if we're going to be able to reclaim 93,700, 93,800. If not, we can drop down pretty severely into levels lower, and then before you know it, I mean, you can take a look at levels down here. I mean, before you know it, you're into 91,700 and 91,200, which is the next kind of liquidity zone for me. So things can turn south here pretty quickly. Would I say that this specific scenario that is on the chart right now is most likely? Ultimately, not yet. All right. I still think on the higher time frames, Bitcoin is quite strong. So I would lean towards saying that it's most likely for Bitcoin to visit at level at 93,200, but that from there we will be able to reclaim and regain some stability. initially, right? Who knows what will happen after that, because eventually we'll break out. And to put it mildly, the bullish breakout right now doesn't seem like the most likely one. But I'll keep you updated on that. Like I said, I'll also try to keep you updated on X regarding that level here at 93,200 and what type of reaction we get from there. But for now, I think this is what you need to know, right? So thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.